Jay. Welcome to another episode of the daily life of a motion designer. Today, we are diving into something super exciting: how to use layer styles in After Effects to create a stunning 3D golden text effect. This is the first part of a series, so stick around as we build up your motion design skills step by step. If you've ever wondered how to add depth, shine, and touch of elegance to your text, you're in the right place. We'll explore some powerful tools like Drop Shadow, Bevel and Emboss, Gradient Overlay, and more. Whether you are a beginner or pro, you'll come away with practical techniques to elevate your designs. Let's get started. Grab your coffee, open After Effects, and let's create something amazing. Create a new composition. Add a solid layer as the background. Write something like daily life. For these, I'll use a script font. I've chosen Pinion Script from Google Fonts. Adjust size or colors as needed, though we will changing the color shortly. Move the text to the center of the composition and pre-compose the text layer. Now right-click on the pre-composed layer and open the Layer Styles tab. What are the layer styles in After Effects? Layer styles in After Effects are a set of visual effects originally from Photoshop applied to layers to enhance their appearance. They allow you to create effects like drop shadow, glow, bevel and emboss directly on layers without adding extra layers or using additional effects. These styles are non-destructive, meaning they can be adjusted or removed at any time. Advantages of using layer styles: ease of use. Layer styles are simple to apply and modify, making them beginner-friendly and efficient for quick enhancements. Non-destructive editing. You can experiment with multiple effects without altering the original layer. Consistency. Reusable settings allow for a uniform look across multiple layers. Time saving. Built-in effects like shadow, stroke, and gradient save time compared to creating these manually. Versatility. Ideal for 2D animations, text effects, and compositing workflows, adding depth and realism. Integration. Fully compatible with Photoshop file, retaining styles when imported into After Effects. Now let's apply these techniques to our project. Select Drop Shadow. A drop shadow adds depth by creating a shadow behind a layer, making it appear as though it is lifted off the background. Adjust the following settings. Set color to black. Reduce opacity to around 66. Turn off global light. Change shadow angle to 90 degrees. Set shadow distance to approximately 1.2. Adjust the spread to around 14. Set the size to 5 for a clean, soft shadow. And lastly, set Multiply for the blend mode. Multiply darkens colors by making white areas of the blend layer transparent while intensifying darker colors. You've successfully added the outer shadow. Great job! Next, right-click on the pre-composed layer again and choose Inner Shadow from the Layer Styles menu. Inner Shadow adds a shadow along the inner edges of the layer, creating a recessed or indented appearance. This effect enhances depth and realism by simulating a light source casting shadows inside the object. Adjust the following settings. Choose Multiply for the blend mode. Set color to black. Reduce opacity to 66. Set shadow angle to -90 degrees opposite the outer shadow for consistent light direction. Set distance to 5. Set choke value to 15. Low choke values create a softer and more diffused shadow with gradual edges. High choke values create a sharper, more defined shadow edge. Set the size to 2 for a clean, sharper appearance. Your inner shadow is now perfectly applied. Now it is time to add the bevel and emboss effect. The bevel and emboss in After Effects is used to give layers a three-dimensional appearance by simulating light and shadow along the edges. This creates highlights and shadow based on a light source, making flat objects look raised, chiseled, or indent. Set the style to the inner bevel. Choose Chisel Hard in the Technique section to define sharp and detailed edges. The technique's values control how the bevel edges are shaped, affecting their level of detail and sharpness. Leave the depth to 100 for a strong pronounced effect. Leave direction to up to make the object appear raised. Adjust the size to 5 for a balanced bevel size. Set soften to 1 for slightly softened edges. Set the angle to -90 degrees to align with the light direction. Leave the altitude to 30 for optimal light placement. Use color dodge for the highlight and shadow mode with an almost white color. Set the highlight opacity to 70, then set the shadow opacity to 90. Once applied, the bevel and emboss adds a realistic 3D appearance to your layer, making it stand out beautifully. Adding gradient overlay. The gradient overlay applies a smooth transition between colors over a layer. This effect adds a stylish and dynamic appearance by spreading the gradient across the entire layer. Set the blend mode to normal for a clean overlay that doesn't interact with the underlying layer. Adjust the opacity to 100 to make the gradient fully visible. Choose a gradient with a golden dark and golden light tones to create a rich and elegant effect. Set the smoothness to 100 to ensure seamless transition between gradient colors. Adjust the angle to 90 degrees to position the gradients vertically. Select the linear style for a straightforward top-to-bottom gradient. Optional animation. If needed, you can animate the gradient by modifying parameters like scale or offset. In this case, I'll leave it static as they fit the current design. With these settings, the gradient overlay adds a sleek and polished touch to your design, enhancing its overall visual appeal. Adding satin. Satin effect adds a smooth, satin-like finish to a layer. It simulates subtle highlights and shadows across the layer's surface, creating a fabric-like or velvety texture. This effect is perfect for adding depth and a luxurious feel to your design. Set the blend mode overlay to create a seamless integration of a satin effect with the layer. The overlay blend mode combines layers by darkening the dark areas and brightening the light areas, resulting in a vivid dynamic effect. Use black color to create soft, shadowy effect. Adjust the opacity to 35 for a balanced, saddle finish. Set the angle to 90 degrees to align the effect with the design's lighting direction. Set the distance to 11 to control how far the satin effect spreads across the layer. Adjust the size to 45 to create a smooth, white gradient for the satin finish. Enable invert to reverse the highlights and shadows, giving a more dynamic look. With these settings, the satin effect adds a refined polished texture to the layer, enhancing its visual richness and depth. The design is almost complete with a 3D effect, but we still need to refine the dark areas. Let's add a stroke to enhance the outlines. Set the stroke color to orange for a contrasting, vibrant outline. Use the overlay blend mode to allow the stroke to blend naturally with the background and the other elements. Set the stroke size to 1 for a subtle but defined edge around the text, adjusting the opacity to 25 to make the stroke visible but not overpowering. Set the position to center to place the stroke evenly around the text. Now pre-compose the layer. Select Move All Attributes, and we will move on to adding more effect for extra depth and polish. Final steps: adding a reflection with drop shadow and glow effect. To complete the effect, we will add a final drop shadow to create a nice reflection on the background. Select Overlay or Screen for the blend mode, depending on the desired effect. Set the shadow color to orange for a warm tone that matches the overall design. Set the opacity to 75 to give a shadow a soft but noticeable presence. Set the angle to 90 degrees to position the shadow in the right direction. Set the distance to 5 to create a subtle shadow effect. Set the spread to 5 for a balanced shadow edge. Set the size to 5 to make the shadow soft and diffuse, giving a realistic look. Adding the glow effect. Add the glow effect and set 100 for a glow threshold. The glow threshold determines which parts of the layer will receive the glow based on their brightness. Set 7 for the radius and 1 for the intensity. Now you have a nice reflection effect on the background, enhancing the 3D appearance and giving the text more depth and dimensions. And that's it! You've just created stunning 3D golden text using layer styles in After Effects. We explore tools like drop shadow, bevel and emboss, gradient overlay, and setting to give your text depth, shine, and that luxurious golden finish. With just a few tweaks, you can adopt these techniques to fit any project. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next episode in this series. Share your creation in the comments. I'd love to see what you come up with. This is MJ. See you in the next episode of the Daily Life of a Motion Designer.